Hi, everyone. We've got Amanda, Daniel, Eric, and Craig. Amanda, I think you're in Kevin's region, right?
Yeah, I'm technically in Kevin's region, but I'm also I'm on the border. I'm on
Closer
the
to
edge of
Washington.
Washington, so I take advantage of both
You should. That's
because
awesome.
the I'm Pacific time with you guys, not Mountain
Oh,
time,
cool.
and his stuff doesn't always align with me, so I scooch him with Kevin when I can, and do what I can on the West Coast.
Oh, I think that's awesome. Good. I love that. I've been in communication with a couple affiliates in Mexico before that they were like, "Can you just let us know when stuff's happening? Because we'll just shoot on up." And I was like, "That's awesome. Of course, you totally should." Um, Well, very cool. With these masterminds, I haven't had set agendas each time. There's sometimes questions that come in the week before. I then try to post these on I do post these on the West Coast YouTube channel so that people can reference them later. And I like to include some timestamps so they know what we talked about. If anyone has certain things that they're wanting to bring up and chat with other affiliate owners about, this is the place to do it. There's also chances to ask questions of HQ and kind of just check in about the things that are going on. That's why we just do it monthly, is usually there's not a ton of stuff. Um, Biggest thing coming up right now in our region is the semifinals next week. Really excited about that. Just had a call this morning about that. We're going to be doing some little get-togethers at the CrossFit booth for affiliate owners and coaches and prospective affiliate owners, trying to get some involvement from the other teams. So we're going to have the affiliate team will be myself and Kevin Ogar. We're going to have the education team there. We'll have Nicole Christensen doing some talking about um, developing coaches and what that looks like. She'll also do a separate demonstration of that. We'll have an opportunity for a group workout down on the competition floor, so that'll be fun. And lots of time for owners to come in and chat with each other as well as with the CrossFit staff. Also set up a time for one of our lead, I believe product manager might be her title, leads in the product team to come in, and she's going to talk with affiliate owners about well, really just hearing from them. What are some things that you'd like to see CrossFit develop over time? What are some things that we already have that you maybe would use if they were a little bit different or could be better? And just really engaging with the product team because they are awesome. The way they kind of look at things from a different perspective and then try to find the best avenue, whether it be with the website, the app, the whole affiliate toolkit is something that they're always diving into and trying to find the best resources for affiliate owners, the best way to get you guys to engage with CrossFit.com and it be meaningful. Like you want to go there and see that there is accurate upcoming events and things like that and things you can sign up for. So looking forward to that. Any of you going to be at semifinals? I think Craig is, right?
Ish.
Undecided.
I'll probably be down there.
Nice. Very cool. Eric, are you able to come
What
off
did
mute? Where are you from?
Sorry, I'm in Eastern Oregon.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, had to get some people out of my office.
What gym is yours?
What's that?
What's your gym?
Aspect CrossFit.
Awesome. Very cool.
I'm not going to California. I wish I had time, but
not able to make the journey down.
no.
Understandable. Also, have any of you, you wouldn't have gotten this, Amanda, because you're not on my newsletter, but Eric, have you joined our Facebook group yet for the West Coast, and or are you interested in joining that? It was actually Daniel's idea. So we started a Facebook group where we can basically just ask questions of each other in real time. And I'd like to sort of put in a little bit more discussions as it moves along, but right now we just are trying to get people to sign up for that.
I think I'm in there. I need to probably pay more attention to Facebook. It's not on my list.
I know it's totally not on my daily check-ins, but I'll drop it in the chat. And you know what, Amanda, if you join it, you totally can join it. I just mean you didn't get the heads up already. We would never kick you out. We would love to have you.
Kevin needs an assistant, or we need a Facebook group for the central. I'm literally 1.4 miles from the line that was
We will
created.
claim you. We're happy to
Oh.
have you. And Kevin is so awesome that he often will help with things going on in mine or the other. So it's these barriers are not so much hard borders. They're,
Yeah.
it's loose. I think at one point when they were drawing the lines, I was supposed to have a couple more states. Because Kevin has the most states, right? He has the most giant real estate. But then if you look at the number of affiliates, I think I might have more than him with fewer states. So that's why they took some states away from me. I think I was supposed to have Nevada, maybe Arizona.
Well, and we are like a line, like literally just a hot second south of us is where the time zone changes. And
interesting.
I think that's how we just got like thrown into the central, which is great. We just went to the Denver affiliate summit, and we'll be coming to see you in September.
Nice. Down in San Diego.
Yep. Eric, if you can make it to the summit, like semifinals, I think that's cool. We're going to the games this year. Go to the summit if you can make it work.
Yeah. The summit is big.
It changes your game of how you're running your gym.
Yeah.
I feel like it changed things. So go to the summit if you can.
Just
Skip
since
semifinals. I just left Denver with like, after hanging out with Jen and Kevin and like some of these other affiliate owners, I was like, I'm already doing these things. And it was just like this level up. I don't know. It's really great. And if we're going to be like immersed in all the CrossFit things, I feel like that's going to be a yearly goal for me, is to go to a summit, whether it's in my region or not. I'll go to one, I'll do things, be a part of all this stuff.
I think that's great. Yeah, it's a big one. We are trying to pack the schedule. We haven't yet finalized all the different speakers that are going to be there, but you can also, I need to repost what's going on. The next one coming up is in Jacksonville, Florida, which is, I know, a bit of a hike for any of us, but you can kind of see what they're going to be doing and get a feel for what ours will be like. So I think they're going to have best hour of their day. They're going to have HSN, I believe. They'll have couple people from CrossFit speaking, definitely someone from the education team. I think they're going to have Denise Thomas. She was at our last summit up at 346 Grit. So the summit's a great chance to get to check in with CrossFit, yes, but more importantly, like have time with other affiliate owners. I think that's where the real value is. Well, does anyone have any questions or things that they wanted to discuss or ask of each other?
How did the ticket sales look for the regional, by the way?
That's a really good question, because we're not running it. I don't actually know. So West Coast Classic is running everything. And so
that's right. That's not a CrossFit event.
It's not technically our event, which is weird because I just went last year and it was all ours. And so I felt like I even knew how many affiliate owners had registered.
Right.
I could message them specifically. So I don't even know, but I actually wasn't even given a point of contact at the West Coast Classic to be like, hey, how's it going? Are we selling out? I'm really excited to be back there. I can't stop calling it the Home Depot Center. It's definitely not that anymore.
Right.
That's what it was in my heart. And it's been like 2 names since then. Dignity Health is what it is now, but I think it'll be really cool to be back. I hope we can fill the tennis stadium or make it look mostly full.
Yeah, it's an exciting place for an event, that's for sure. Lots of good memories.
Yeah, I think it's going to be weird to only be in the tennis stadium, because we all have these visions of walking out to the track and there being the Masters or something, or going over down to the soccer stadium, which was enormous.
Right.
And then having, going way out to like the vendor village, which not that I'm going to miss walking way out that way, but it was such an expansive kind of layout. And now it's really just going to be tennis stadium, and all the vendors are going to be up above.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
On the top. So, which is cool because it's going to be tight knit. If it did at Pasadena, it was a little bit spread out last year.
Yeah.
So
are they trying to recreate like when regionals was in Tacoma? Did you go to that? Are we talking about CrossFit semifinals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So regionals in like 2015 or 2016 was in Tacoma. And that was how it was set up, was it was
Oh.
just in one location, and then literally all the vendors were like made a horseshoe inside. That's probably what it's gonna be like. It'll be great.
Yeah. I don't even know, like, when was the last time we had the games there? 16, 15, 16, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think 16, 17.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I've been catching a lot from owners, actually ever since I got hired, unrelated to anything semifinal or summit, is really the pain of staffing classes. And pain meaning like, how do I get staff? How do I keep staff? I saw this even question in our Facebook group when we first started it. I have a lot of owners that are struggling so much with how to build a team and almost have like a bench of soon to be trainers that they could call upon as, to either shadow or to intern under the existing staff, and to be right there when this person needs to take a leave of absence, or they move and relocate, or they choose to go open their own gym. And all of these things end up leaving like a sour taste for affiliate owners, because they're back to square one, so they feel, where they're having to cover the classes themselves, or consider canceling a class, or whatever they may have to do. So I don't know if this is something that any of you struggle with, any of you have tips about, but I would love to keep this as an ongoing discussion whenever I get affiliate owners together, of how to crack that. And there is no quick fix, is what I have found. There's not like, oh, if you just go to this and sign up for this, then you're going to have all the trainers you could ever need. You're going to have to turn people away. I would love to hear if any of you have found what works well for your system, or what you do when you are in a jam, and how do you set things up so that you don't get in that place again.
I can
With
go
those,
first. Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to ask a question with that, like when we're struggling with coaches or whatever, are the people telling you why? Do they not have the revenue to pay for it? Do they not know where to source a coach? Do they not have a continuing education program? Do they not have an internship program? So like that's multifaceted. So
Yeah.
when somebody says, I can't hold on to coaches or I can't get coaches, the next question is like, okay, we need to distill down where that comes from. So are you seeing a common theme there?
I'm seeing a combination of those things. And I think when I start to dig into those exact follow-up questions, it is revealed that this may, I mean, as much as the owner doesn't want to hear it, this may not be the most appealing job for a trainer. And as someone that has been a career trainer most of my adult life, I want to tell them point blank, this isn't a job that someone can live off of. This isn't a job someone would want. Additionally, yeah, what is the path for the trainer, after they're hired? Where can they get to? And what would be the goal of getting them there? But the initial that I hear the most is, I can't find trainers. So I'm putting up job postings maybe, or I don't even know what their initial, like, besides posting that we're hiring, they don't have any interest. I think they're almost expecting trainers to be knocking on the door. Can I come work for you? And so I think it's multiple. I haven't heard this from the gyms that have the highest pay, benefits, a lot of different variety of opportunity within the gym coaching environment, meaning I usually hear it from the gyms that are just offering group class coaching, not the gyms that also have things like personal training or small group, or we do nutrition, or we also offer, specialty programs that you could head up, things like that. I need more people to cover my group classes. And
yeah, I mean, that's the tough part. It's like, hey, because when you say like I can't find coaches because of my job description, it's like, hey, I'm offering a job that pays $120 a week.
Yeah, I know.
Like at the end of the day, it's like that's awesome, but you're not going to be able to keep somebody around unless you have a staff ascension plan, right? And so, it comes down to like, if you're going to run a model like that, you're going to have to run a bench coach model. It's
Yeah.
like playing hockey where it's like, okay, well, your shift is a minute 20.
Yeah.
And then we have another line coming in and we have another line coming in. That you turn into a human resources company versus an actual coaching company, right? Because then you're just continually vetting people. And so like that business model doesn't allow you to have an offer that's like, yeah, I want to come work there if it's that size. So like, I don't know as any one of us would be like, yeah, hey, I want to be available 4 days or four classes a week, maybe. And then, oh, your skills has to be up to this level and you have to do all this and this and this and this, it's like a lot to ask in that regard. So that's why I was asking like if it was consistent, because it's tough to make a really, really energetic offer if that's what your initial is.
I agree.
Let
Craig,
me,
were you gonna say something?
I'll chime in. I think Dan's right. You need to have, once you start to obtain a clientele that requires you to have more than yourself, you need to have a strategy for recruiting future coaches. It's always been something that's part of, and I've taken that task on because I'm more of a people person. I have, corporate management experience and human resource training experience. So that's my role at Diablo, is bringing on board new coaches. And I think about it almost daily. I've been doing this 18 years. And by that, I mean, I'm always eyeballing people within our community. And when someone shows prowess in the movements, they show and represent, the type of things that we look for in a coach, the ability to get along with others, leadership qualities. What I'll usually do is plant a seed. Have you ever thought about getting your level 1? And start there. And that usually, if I ask 3 people that question, one of those 3 within 6 months will sign up for an L1. And it's an ongoing process. And personally, I feel like it's my give back to CrossFit in order to help get more people certified with CrossFit. But then it also serves a really unique purpose. Now I've got someone within my gym that's a member that's passionate about what we do, that knows and understands our community and has a level 1. The next step from there is, have you ever thought about coaching? I do not offer, and can't think of in 18 years ever hiring a full-time coach. I have always hired part-time coaches. Fortunately, over the last 10 years, especially, our country has operated in a kind of gig environment type capacity, meaning people have multiple roles and multiple jobs. The reason why I got into coaching, I came out of the finance world, was to help other people and spread the word of CrossFit. I love coaching. It's incredibly fulfilling. I share that with these same people. It's incredibly fulfilling. It's rewarding. You feel amazing when you, the first time someone gets a pull-up under your tutelage, or a bar muscle up. I had someone 2 weeks ago get a bar muscle up. One of my members get a bar muscle up, and I was just as excited about it as I was 18 years ago when I started this. It's incredibly fulfilling. And that person, now you've created a lifelong memory for that person, and they associate that with you. And I make that clear to the folks that I talk to within our community about coaching. This is a give back, not only to the community, a give back to, but a give back to CrossFit, but also a way for you to kind of get a sense of fulfillment for yourself. There's very few jobs out there where people can get that kind of instantaneous, fulfilling feedback for doing something incredibly positive. You altered someone's life for the better. And those parts of the job make this exceptionally rewarding. So I'll bring on board part-time coaches that way. Right now, as a matter of fact, I don't have anybody going through our observe and assist program. We usually put people on observe and assist when they first start. They have to shadow other coaches for anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months, depending upon how experienced they are or what coaching background they have. But I don't have anybody, and so now I've got a couple coaches going on pregnancy leave. So over the last 2-3 weeks, I've been peppering people with good people. And my wife and I said, man, that person would make a great coach. I've asked about 5 or 6 people have thought about getting your L1. 3 of them are signed up and are doing their L1s.
Nice.
And those 3 people have expressed an interest in part-time coaching. They don't, they'll do it on the weekend, they'll do it in the evening, they'll do it, and that's all I need. I need a constant slew of part-time coaches. Now that said, I have 5 coaches here that are full-time coaches, and they've built that business themselves. And how they've built that business themselves is this: they come in, started coaching part-time, then they develop relationships with members. They start doing private coaching sessions. Our private coaching sessions are most often begin now at, I don't let my coaches charge under $100 an hour. Most of them start at $150 an hour. But Diablo looks at, and it's just something I want kind of to reduce my obligation and to give the opportunity to coaches. I worry about memberships. I'm a membership business. I want as many people as this square footage can handle in this place paying me a monthly membership. I can manage that. I can see it. I can predict my business. The other things that help retain that membership and keep that membership going for a longer term are private coaching, clinics, kids classes, seminars, all of those things, and nutrition coaching includes nutrition coaching. All of those things I see as like outside of the main circle of memberships. So you got all these other things. On all of these things, I'll pay a generous portion of that to the coaches. We pay 70%. We'll pay actually more if it's just them doing accessory programming. So those 5 coaches that are full-time make anywhere from $80,000 to about $120,000 a year. And they're doing that by coaching maybe 6 to 12 classes a week, tops. But they're doing private coaching. They're doing nutrition coaching. They're doing, I have one coach that's doing meal prep for members.
Wow.
Making $15,000 a year doing meal prep. And I don't want to be in that business, and nor can I be in that business where we're zoned, the way we're zoned here. But it doesn't, like, I don't see that as competition. I see that as a add-on service to Diablo. If those members lose weight or they, are eating better and feel better, they're going to associate that with Diablo CrossFit and keep being part of this community. So all of these accessory things out there are great revenue opportunities for our coaches to supplement their part-time job that they have coaching at Diablo. And the net result is it grows my membership and then allows my coaches to go from being maybe just part-time with a full-time job to maybe full-time here and making a career out of it. So that's how we think about it. And so what I do is now I look at it as, okay, I've got to keep those part-time coaches, the weekend coaches, the evening coaches doing 2 to 3 hours a week. I've got to keep as many of those on board as possible. We have a total of 17 coaches, 5 of them part-time, 12 of them are 5 of them are full-time, and the other 12 are part-time. And it works out great. I'm able to cover 100 classes a week that way.
That's great. That's really helpful. I do think there's a miss on how owners that are struggling with coaching is how they're thinking about finding them, because many times the request is, if you could just make a job board. And for a long time, I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. That would fix it. But the more that we've been discussing this internally, it's clear that this is not going to fix it to have a job board. That being said, nothing is off the table. I actually think we got an email last week from Jen Green, who's the regional manager, and she's looking at a beta test of working with a group outside of CrossFit that would work with hiring, and they've done fitness job placement and stuff like that, and they're interested in seeing it. So I said, look, I definitely know of some gyms that in my region that would be interested in trying it out as a test. But again, if you don't have these other things in place, you're just going to be right back there again. Right. And so I don't think the answer is the job board, which for a long time thought it was, because I heard enough owners asking for that. And then,
So-
as you said, Daniel, if you dig a little bit, you're like, we're going to just be right back here again. Anyway.
So Katie, can it be a recommendation like to the product team or something for CrossFit? Like, cause I do kind of what Craig was just talking about. All of my coaches, there's 2 of us are full-time. The other 8 are all part-time. They have full-time jobs. And my coaches are so engaged, but I think it's because they're not like so saturated in 5 or 6 classes a day. Like I'm the owner, and when I have to coach 3 a day, my brain is melting at the end if I'm doing the best I can. And nobody
100%.
this all like the chance that we came from a job board is very minimal. I didn't I'm not the owner of this because of a job board. I'm the owner of this because of the methodology and the passion, and like there's not because I wasn't going to make money, because I haven't made money. Like it's just what it is. But maybe can CrossFit like create some kind of a template for like in the starter toolkit or something on how can we mentor and educate new gym owners that don't understand how to intern a member, to plant those seeds like what Craig's doing. Like I built, thanks to Regno, I built out my intern stuff. We do the same 3 to 6 months or 3 to 3 months of shadowing. We're observing. I don't pay for your level 1, you do it, but you crush it. And 6 months later, I'll pay for your level 2. Like, go.
Yep.
And
Same
I feel
thing.
that's so successful for us. I don't know, the job board thing, I heard that at the summit and I'm just like, why are you not picking from your own flower beds?
Yeah. I think this is a great content piece. I don't know, the product team is more like, it's definitely the software. Like they're like the hard pieces behind it. The content is something that would come from the gym team, the team I'm on, as well as the education team. And something that I had heard being talked about, this is maybe one level above, but there's not, I don't know, in my 13 years on the seminar staff team, if there's ever been a shortage of trainers to run seminars. And that was when we had the peak most amount of seminars in a weekend. We were running 30 seminars a weekend globally. And these seminars were stacked with 50 to 60 participants sometimes. So why is that? Right. And I will tell you, when you first start off on that job, it is not great pay. But I did not bat an eye, right? I was like, I don't care. You can have me for the weekend and fly me across the world because this is the coolest gig ever. And it wasn't about, and I watched in real time myself improve as a coach, because I was still coaching classes in the gym, of course. And I was like, I am getting so much better at public speaking, group management, correcting, seeing faults on the fly. And so there was never I don't know if I want to keep doing this. It was, and so anyway, there's this thought that there's plenty of people that work for CrossFit that have either been through that process, helped create that process, and built out the team of seminar staff. Obviously that's different, but it's the same in concept. And so, and I think that's why Ray was probably a really good help, having gone through that process himself, so he can give you the insider. So I know there was talk of almost creating like a leadership course. Again, this is a little bit different than build out your staff, but kind of an inside look behind how the seminar team has become some of the best coaches in the world, and what that leadership tier looks like, and the continuing education, and the way you develop on site versus the way you have the coaches develop on their own. And so I'm still crossing my fingers something like that gets made, and that would be like an online course that would be great for affiliate owners to take. But in addition to that, what you're talking about is almost something that could get added into the playbook or the starter kit, that's showing beyond the policies of how you're going to hire, and you want to have standard operating procedures for all of that, but also like the real how to look for them. Craig gave some insight into that. Daniel posed some really good questions you should be asking yourself when it comes to hiring. So I think that would be great. I wrote that down. That
the one of the things you talked about, Katie, was a career path.
Yeah.
And the career path that I've seen at Diablo, and what we've done here, is they come in and it's part-time coach. Then they find a niche. It's either coaching kids, or maybe doing rehab work, or mobility work, and they start doing clinics and skill sets there. They build a clientele, private training clientele, and then they make a decision. They want to be a full-time coach. And I've had people leave their jobs. You know, Jackson, who works here now, makes over $100,000 a year, left the real estate business to be a full-time coach. He was able to recruit some kids in for sports-specific training, similar to what you do, Katie. And he's got a regular group of kids paying him, you know, $70 a session 3 times a week, plus his private training clientele. But let me tell you the other one that's really been a nice income addition for multiple coaches here, and I think other coaches do it as well, is he writes accessory programming for our members. Someone has a back injury, someone has a tennis tournament coming up and they need, you know, extra training or programming that would help them focus on that. Someone has a Spartan race or a half marathon and they need accessory programming. He writes that accessory programming. I have about 4 or 5 coaches now that are doing accessory programming or competition programming for our masters competitors. And they're getting paid anywhere from $100 to $400 a month, depending upon how comprehensive that programming is. That's freaking easy work. Easy work meaning you don't have to be there. You don't have to sit with them for an hour. You don't have to run a class. You're in. If you create
and you kind of create a template of it. This is
you
how
create
I
a template
became
that
a
you can
CrossFit
apply to
Games
everybody.
athlete. I was like, I'll just do all my coaching online, and I can have all the time in the gym to work out. Yeah.
So the next part of that is, from there is, okay, now I can be a full-time coach, or I can be a full-time programmer, or maybe I can be an affiliate owner.
Yeah.
And I tell my coaches to think about that, right? Because again, we need more good future affiliate owners, or good affiliate owners in the future. This business is going to grow and we're going to continue to change people's lives. And so there's that path. Or maybe you want to continue your career as an accountant, but you want to just help people and continue to spread the word of CrossFit. Then be a part-time coach. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. So there's that I make that clear to people and kind of try to point them in that direction. I've got one kid that coaches our teen class, is amazing. And so, but he wants to take it to the next level. So we talked to him about being a PE teacher. And so he's going back to school part-time. He's going to continue to coach, run our team program here, and he's getting his credentials so he can go be a PE teacher and spread CrossFit that way. That's awesome. Yeah. It's much different than, hey, I want you to come here and be a full-time coach, and we're going to give you benefits and all this stuff. That's just, like you said, that leads to someone said it, that leads to burnout. You just get that's a job. Yeah. Right. You're not helping people.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I think the balance between us providing guidance on the how-tos, the logistical side of it, but also like getting into like exactly what you were talking about, Craig, and I'm sure a lot of you have had these conversations with your future coaches or with people you see as potential, which is like the fulfillment and that feeling of this being potentially the most rewarding job you've ever had, depending on what your background has been. I know I left a very stable desk job with full benefits and 401k because nothing felt better than helping people in the gym. And I had no guarantees of classes or personals or anything. And I was like, I'll make it work. I know I can do it because I love it that much. And so I just don't know how many people are working in some of these gyms that are struggling to find, how many of their trainers are looking at it that way. And that's maybe why they don't see it as that. So if we can shift them more towards that model. Does anyone have any other ideas on that or differing opinions on?
I have a question for Craig and maybe one of the other guys. Do you run a specific nutrition program, like with a personalized app, or did you build up your own?
No, I outsource our nutrition 100%. We've tried, I've had multiple, but that's not to say that's the right way to do it. It's just that we've had hit or miss success with when we've had nutrition coaches here at Diablo. And we found that the majority of our members preferred an online approach to it. As one member told me, I don't want to run into my coach in the grocery store, which I thought was incredibly profound. And my wife said, yes, exactly. And then the second part she said was, I don't want to send them pictures of me in my underwear either. So
Very
the
good
fact that
point.
when they can do that remotely to someone that's on the other side of the country, or someone they may never run into in person, it was much easier. But again, when people come in, we talk to them about nutrition, and then we refer them, and we use Jason Falcon Nutrition. He's a ex Stronger You guy. Works great. And then I do have two coaches that do nutrition coaching. So if they want to do someone in person, I'll refer them directly to that coach. And I take nothing from that. I let my coaches have 100% on the nutrition coaching. Again, same thing. Members get a benefit. They associate it with Diablo CrossFit, and it makes them better members. They'll keep paying their membership longer.
With the outsourced one, do you guys get a portion of that because you're referring
No,
it?
all we ask is that Jason pass a discount on to our members from the
Oh.
regular pricing, and so that benefit goes to the members themselves. That's not to say I didn't want to be in the nutrition coaching management business. It was difficult, challenging, and our core competency is coaching CrossFit and running amazing CrossFit classes.
Awesome, thanks.
I'm just getting started, so I'm digging myself out of all this stuff.
Are you in some of the mess of it?
Yeah, like 6 months ago, I was either gonna quit or no, I wasn't gonna quit. I was gonna close and invite about 6 people to come work out with me. But I had 23 classes a week and one other coach. Anyway, I was able to fix that problem. And they all came from the community. You should clip that piece where Craig started, that first about 3 minutes, about changing people's lives and things like that. So, and I think it's true, like people had to see the passion I had for it. That's what drew them there, and they could see that I was grinding. And a couple of them stepped up because they didn't want it to go away. They're like, you're gonna fold up, and this facility is gonna go away if we don't jump up and help. So that's what I always preached. Was it reminded me when Craig was talking there. There's that clip that goes around of Chuck saying there's 3 pieces you got to have, and I think he says the last one is you got to care. And frankly, if a coach doesn't have that, you don't want them. The quality, the class is terrible. Yeah. So I think that is really important, and you've got to find those people and incubate them, if you will, from the ranks. I've thought about when I was in that struggle with coach, trying to get some help, get some relief for myself, and get out of the day-to-day. I thought, well, we have some personal trainers that float around town, different things that I could probably groom, but all of them, I'm in a small town, so they all come with a reputation. And unless you come and attend classes and are part of the community for a while, so that I get to know you, other people get, have respect for your effort and you're walking the talk. I stayed away from that. Fortunately, I got them all from inside, but I am at that point now. I have one coach that's going to be moving, and it started me down this process. Okay, I need to figure out an internship, a succession plan of how I always have these people in coming up. So anyway, I'm digging through that right now. Thanks, Craig. All of you. I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point of the Facebook group, but with these as well, like, it's really like, come in and listen if you just want ideas, different perspectives, ask questions, tell people when you are struggling in a certain area and get their opinions. Everything that I've seen going back and forth in the Facebook group has been, of course, super respectful, but also just with the like, hey, let me just share what I've done, and maybe it'll give you something to think about and some new ways to approach stuff. So I think the more of that, the better. Like, this is one of the best things about CrossFit, besides all the CrossFit stuff that we all love, but is that we have the community and that we can do it together and we can help each other. That's what we all know when we see it in the classes, but we forget about it when we become owners. We suddenly think of each other as competitors, or I don't want to talk about what I'm not doing well because I'm going to get judged, or everyone else probably knows what they're doing and I don't. And it's just, we got to like lay all that down and start asking each other for help, advice, support, even just to like, you're doing the right thing. You're going to come out the other end of this, you know? So keep leaning on each other.
Here's
glad-
the little things I have. I wasted 45 minutes this morning debating on whether I should stick with the whiteboard or get a big screen monitor to display.
Questions.
You know, I'm really in the infancy stages of this thing.
Get the TV, you'll save yourself time every morning. Get the TV.
But there's just some nostalgia about the whiteboard, though. I would
Yes,
still
there
write
is.
it, I think.
So, yeah, stay with the mobile whiteboard. You can control your group. Just move the whiteboard.
I've had the opportunities to sit with some of the best affiliate owners in the world, and I can tell you right now that like they all are doing what you are doing, Eric, and we've all gone through it, and we continue to go through it. I'm still cutting I'm fucking stall mats. I got 500 members and I'm still cutting and moving stall mats. I'm the guy that fixes the fucking rowers and takes them apart and makes them, and we stood your whiteboard TV decision. I laughed because that was a struggle for us for like 2 months of back and forth with me and other people. No, you can't. We got to have the whiteboard because that's the way it was. But those are the decisions, the one that make it this awesome, and you won't forget it. But we've all gone through, and it's not anywhere like as much as there are many different ways to do stuff within CrossFit. We've all done the same things. And you'll look back on this like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, if you continue and you keep staying passionate about it and helping people, you're going to look back 5 years from now going, holy crap, I remember when I was in that crisis. And you really will. I mean, I can't say that enough. Like I've had some low times in this. I know Dan has too. Dan came down and we met and talked when he was here. And we've all had some really low times where I'm like, well, do I want to do this anymore? And then when you come out on the other side of that, it's especially rewarding. And you go, fuck, I'm so glad I stuck with it and hung with it. And then all of the people whose lives you change, when they start sending you messages and saying thank you. The best thing I took away from this call, and I'm really glad I came on this call, was the story of your member telling you, I want to help because I don't want this to go away. That's what CrossFit is all about. That's what CrossFit is about. And that, man, it just makes it just like as a coach, as an owner, it just makes all of this worth it. So
They're
keep
called
doing
growing
it, dude.
pains for a reason.
Yeah.
You don't grow without them.
And it's a constant, like you're right, it happens all the time. And what Glassman said, it's like that constant pursuit of excellence or something. And it does it every morning. Like I want this day to, the experience to be the best. I love it. It's good, especially now that I can breathe again. So
yeah.
Gosh, sorry, Dan, I think I interrupted you.
I can offer like a different model than Craig. So mine's the exact opposite of Craig.
Yeah.
Where I have 5 full-time employees with benefits and things of that nature. So mine runs a little bit differently. And so I think just based on the way that I have chosen to build this business, we bring people in that have that kind of entrepreneurial desire, but don't know how to market, don't know how to sell, don't know how to do a lot of those things. And we kind of teach them how to do that. And so just a different way about that, where we currently have two bench coaches, and then the other 5 are full-time coaches, and they do a range of things, but I don't have a coach that has more than 20 floor hours a week. I have a guy that's a maintenance guy. He fixes all our rowers, and he does our cleaning now. And he does, he maintains our barbells once a month and like things like that. So we built a job for that. We have a nutrition coach who does, our in-house nutrition coaching, and then she does some of our private training stuff, and our semi-private stuff. And then we have our general manager or our operations director who does, some of that. So all of those people are getting non-fulfillment hours. And so we have to adjust our overall compensation structure accordingly so the machine can run. But it allows, different parts. Like if somebody goes on vacation, it's very easy to cover it because those are relatively high paying roles that we need to fill, in that regard. It also, for me, it allows me to control the experience all the athletes are getting, through my model. Now, I don't have 500 members like Craig does. I have, 160 or so. And so just a different model in that regard. With ours, I have a one floor space of 650 square feet and another one that's 1,400 square feet. I have to control logistics. Within this demographic, we pay over $30 a square foot for our space, not including taxes. You're talking $8,000-9,000 a month in just lease. So like with a space and the cost of that for us, I can't have flexibility for trainers to kind of to run, similar to where Craig's is. So I think it really is dependent upon how your business is set up, the structure. I mean, my gym would fit in like Craig's front room. You walk in and like where all his t-shirts are, that's where we work out. So it's a different model in that regard. So I think, especially for new affiliates, the ones that I talk to frequently, they get too big of a space and then they've got to fill it up. As far as like CrossFit was started, what, 4-on-1, 5-on-1? It wasn't started 25-on-1. I did a consult with a potential new gym owner yesterday, and he's like, well, I have a 3,000 square feet place or 400 square feet place. One's $700 and one's 8,000. I'm like, do the 400. Like, let's be profitable in 400, and then let's overcommit the entire thing and then figure out what's next. So become profitable before, don't put yourself behind the 8 ball. And so I think what your initial model looks like, is a little different. So for me, just structured a little differently than Craig to offer like another way to go about it.
Here's one thing that's cool is, I reached out to Dan to get together with him to learn how he's doing this small group training. That is a significant income opportunity for coaches. And there's also there seems to be a demand within the marketplace and there's new gyms that are setting up with this model. And I watched a great podcast with these guys, Kilo guys, that did, there's a gym in New York, Fort NYC, by the way, FORT NYC. They've got 3 or 4 small group private coaching programs that are generating that whose clients pay on average. I think on average it was $750 a month to be part of that, because they have a dedicated coach for 3 or 4 people. CJ Martin, he never comes out and talks very much, but he runs these programs very successfully at Invictus. And what that gives is coaches is a significant income opportunity, but also, like Dan, allows him to get a lot more revenue per square foot, which is much lower risk as a gym owner, because your fixed overhead's down, but then you're providing more value to that client. So I met with Dan so I can learn how he's doing it, so I can start doing those types of programs within Diablo. And we're going to be launching, as a matter of fact, this month as a result of the conversation that I had with Dan. But that's the beauty of, Katie, what you're doing and bringing these affiliate owners together. And I haven't ever picked up the phone and called an affiliate owner, and the affiliate owner said, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So to give you context, we have 12 semi-private programs. Yeah, we do 65% of gross revenue is either hybrid or semi-private. So essentially, let's put this in better context of like 65% of the time my coaches are making greater than $55 an hour. Like, that's the cool thing about a program like that. It takes a while to grow it. You have to, there's very deliberate steps. Like, I consult specifically for these things. I probably have a dozen calls a month on these. Like, there's a very specific way to set these up. And like Craig said, we chatted about this and I tried to give him some suggestions on the way his program works, but like, it can be done. I mean, and the cool thing about it is, like, foundationally 25 years ago, this is kind of what Glassman did. So it's like, I'm not recreating the wheel. I just put some, spray paint on it or made it look a little different or whatever. But it's cool because you can give people a lot of security, in like that, and then increasing your average revenue per square foot, especially in these really, really high places. I was mentoring a gym owner this morning. His lease went up 160%. He's done. Like, it's just not happening. Like, he's, literally, like, and that's the thing, like, this commercial real estate, or excuse me, the warehouse real estate in these city areas is just getting so far out of reach. And so you've got to be paying attention to that square foot cost. And that helps, at least in our situation.
Yeah, we did a call on small group training. I'll just throw that in the chat. It's in the YouTube channel for the West Coast. I actually chatted with Dan prior to the call because he wasn't able to make the call. So I was kind of speaking on his behalf and putting some notes on some stuff that he had let me know. But there was other people on the call that had good questions about ways to think about this. Of course, just like with anything with staffing, there's different ways to slice this, right? There's different ways to approach the idea of semi-private training. And then I don't know why I feel like we got into it on another call with you, Daniel, but I know
we did. We had
one of
other than
these?
you and I set up another call. I
Yeah.
mean, just a subtle pitch. I'm happy to do a guest appearance on one of these to like talk people through that, or to be honest, anyone that's around that wants to talk.
Yep.
Like Craig will tell you, like, I'll talk your ear off about this model if you want to, and I'll tell you all the secrets, because the information's out there. But it's the action, it's the intention, it's the integrity of your practice. It's like, does this fit my model? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I'd be happy to share what's worked for us, and probably more importantly, what hasn't worked for us. If
that'd be
if
really
you think there's an audience, yeah,
definitely. Yeah, we can, I mean, we can tentatively, I'll chat with you, Daniel, but we can tentatively call that, maybe what our June focus is. And again, we can dive as deep into it as we want, like the staffing thing I pitched to Craig. I said, this is something I want to talk about. I know there wasn't a giant group of us, but we've talked about it on some of the West Coast calls, but it also tends to go down different rabbit holes into, each owner has their own spin on it. So I just wanted to get into some, hard facts about, like, if you're not doing certain things, you're looking for answers the wrong way. If you're looking for a job board, or you're looking for, the best trainer to just walk in the door one day, that's not the way it's going to happen. So I think that was good. And I do think the small group coaching is a really important piece. But if there's other topics that you guys would love to have be the focus of these calls, or even just part of the call, doesn't have to be the whole thing, please bring it up or let me know. I can go and search and find the most expert people to talk on that. And you can listen, or you can chime in with questions or whatever.
One thing I'll add regarding the hiring portion, if a coach emails me or direct message me and says, "Are you guys hiring?" I will always have a conversation. I'll have a meeting or a conversation. Usually and I would say 1 out of 3 of those end up coming to, they join us and then they end up coaching part-time. Someone that's moving to there, one of the just amazing coaches I have right now, Maddie Griffin, came out of United Barbell in San Francisco. But she had messaged us, says, "Hey, my husband's job is transferring over to you where you guys are. Any chance you have an opportunity to coach?" And usually I used to look at those and go, I don't have room for another coach. And then I told myself, you need to always talk to coaches, always need to talk to coaches. And now she's worked herself through PTs and everything else. She's killing it here. And then she filled the gap. I have coaches going out on pregnancy leave, but she's filling the gap. And it's only because I ended up taking a taken a meeting with her when she was here, and then my wife loved her and other coaches liked her. So we brought her, she joined the gym. I always tell people the big test is you got to join our community first. Join our gym, join our community, and get to know people. And if they do that, that usually shows us a real sense of commitment. But my point being, always take the call. If someone's got to know one, they want to come work for you, always have that conversation. They might end up being a good intern for you or something else.
I gotta go work out. Thanks so much, Katie. I'm gonna post we have a coach's internship, and I'll post it in the Facebook group for anybody to use however they want. Ours is between 8 and 12 weeks, and it's all like outlined. So that might be something that could be of value. So I'm gonna pop that in there today.
That's great.
But anyways,
I'm
gonna go work out.
as well.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thanks so much, guys. I'll let you all go. We're pretty much at time, but if anything else comes up, don't be a stranger. Please reach out. Yeah. Good seeing you.
I put my contact information in chat too. If anybody wants to email or have a call and hear how we do things or get our insight, I'm open to doing those calls anytime.
Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, right on. That was a good call.
Appreciate your time.
Hey, nice to meet you, Eric. Hi, me.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.